Laten we even kijken in de quest log wat mij nog wacht. We hebben best wel wat dingen staan. Surprise meeting, iets met Poppy. De Snidgets. Natty outside of Hogsmeade. A basis for blackmail. Nou, laten we dat eerst eens doen. A basis for blackmail. Natty outside of Hogsmeade. Hier zo, is daar een fast travel? Nou, deze is het dichtst bij. We kunnen Natty vast blij maken met onze aanwezigheid.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
300 meter.
Abandoned long ago, no doubt.
Abandoned long ago. Nou, Natty, zeg maar, wat is het plan? Wait, ze wil 's nachts afspreken. Nee,
Are
niet.
you ready to put an end to Harlow?
Het is overdag. Put an end to Harlow, sowieso.
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hogshead. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hogshead, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
Klinkt goed.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him
Ze
there.
zijn allemaal gewoon aanwezig in Hogsmeade, dat
What
scheelt.
sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
Oké.
Very well. I'll speak with them, see what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them.
Oké.
Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Hogsmeade. Wij betreden de stad. ...40 meter, dus het dichtste bij. Hij is in dit gebouwtje namelijk.
Mrs. Rabe should be nearby.
Inderdaad. Hier zo.
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
We moeten
Why
hem gaan
would
helpen.
Harlow extort your husband?
Isco's job is even more removed from the vaults than mine. He travels the world for the bank. He could do nothing for Harlow. I'm the one in the bank on a daily basis, which evidently makes me an enticing target for blackmail.
Have you helped Harlow since your husband was taken?
No, I'm worried sick about Isco, but he'd never want me to compromise my integrity. I also know that he's extremely clever. That said, I was hoping he would have escaped by now. It makes me concerned as to why he hasn't.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Oké.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
Wij gaan
I shall
ingrijpen.
do all I
Komt goed.
can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
Bedankt voor deze informatie.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you. I hope it's not too late.
Now, to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends.
Op naar de volgende. 50 meter.
Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check.
Please tell me you didn't.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in a stunning cravat today?
Please, sir, I'd like to help. I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What does he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it up for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note? That might help me to identify it should I come across it.
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the costs with my own savings, but I'm running out of money. Of course, none of this bodes well for my efforts to improve my circumstances and to be worthy of Rosie.
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses all perspective. He'd see this as a grave betrayal. I'd lose my job instantly, and Rosie as well.
Nou,
Thank you for
dan
telling
was dat
I'm
getuige
gathering
nummer
evidence to
2.
take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous. As for Rosie's letter,
Hele
should
gevaarlijke
you
man.
happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns.
Nou, nog 1 te gaan.
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends.
The last of Mr. Bickle's friends. Hé, een ogenkist. Even pakken, nog 500 geld. Hup. Lekker hoor, ogenkist, ik heb jou. Over de brug. Agabus
Filbert must be
Filbert.
around here somewhere.
Nou, hier staat ze.
Hello there.
Hi.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Tragic what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
If you had spoken out against him as Mr. Bickle asked, perhaps Harlow would be locked away by now.
Perhaps. But perhaps I would have suffered a similar fate.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry.
Dulcibella.
As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again, but do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone
De
who may
mensen
be
zijn in
willing
elk
to
geval
help.
behulpzaam.
Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty.
Now to find Natty. Oh, dit is wel een grote sprong. Laten we die niet nemen. Terug naar Natty. Allemaal sloten nog overal en nergens. Zo'n klein slotje die kan ik wel unlocken, maar de grote sloten kan ik niet unlocken. En dan unlock ik zo'n huis. Er zit een kistje in.
Revelio.
Er zit een grote kist in. Er zit nog een kistje in. Daar is het. 3 kistjes. Gewoon geluid. Hier beneden. Toch niet helemaal. Kijk, hier zijn nog allemaal deuren met een slot erop. Die kan ik allemaal unlocken.
Hallo, Hamora.
Dan vind ik allemaal schatkistjes.
Revelio.
Ja, schatkistjes, dat is leuk, maar... Ik hoor hier zo'n fluistergeluid. Hier staat zo'n aap. Hup. We maken het nacht. Dan kan ik die aap pakken. Ik kan het geen nacht maken als ik in een huisje ben. Waarschijnlijk kan ik dat wel hier buiten doen. Nee, waarom kan dat niet? Omdat ik in een quest zit, denk ik. Ja. Ja, ik moet gewoon een keer in de nacht nog doorlopen. Ik heb ook in één keer dat mijn camera heel gek doet. Zie je het? Mijn camera doet vreemd. Nou, niet meer. Oké, Natty. Ik had nog een aap gevonden, maar die kan ik niet pakken. Wat is nu de vervolgstap? Hé, ze is weg.
She said she was going to the Hogsmeade. Perhaps I'll find her there.
Ze is weg. Oh, ze heeft zichzelf in de problemen gebracht, denk ik.
Revelio. Natty must be around here somewhere.
Ze heeft zichzelf in de problemen gebracht. Ik zit hier vast. Hier ligt haar toverstaf. Natty's wand.
Natty's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble.
Ja,
Revelio
had ik ook al bedacht.
she was taken. Revelio.
Voetafdrukken.
Nosy little students get what's coming to them.
Voetafdrukken. Volgen.
Natty must have been taken this way.
Ashwinder hideout. Daar gaan we naar binnen.
The footprints led to this room. There must be another way forward. Accio.
Oké.
A hidden door.
A hidden door.
Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly.
Kijk, ik verwacht hier wel Ashwinders, maar die zie ik niet. We zijn in een Ashwinder hideout.
Revelio.
Nou, ik zie hier beneden toch wel heel veel Ashwinders.
Using that girl as bait. Someone's coming for her. We ought to just...
Harlow says her friend will be reckless enough. He wants them alive.
Only a Hogwarts student would be arrogant enough to come in here alone.
Just keep an eye out.
I've used the dark arts several times. Can't understand why you don't. They're remarkable.
Revelio.
I've raided Brockborough more times than I can count. They're incapable of defending themselves.
Er staat ook een bos daarboven. Gwendolyn Zoo.
Revelio.
Ja, ik ben gezien. Ik druk de verkeerde knop in.
Oh, what's the line? Bella next time.
Gwendolyn Zoo.
You're a bit dodgy with your skills.
Hier Gwendolyn Zoo. Ancient Magic hier back.
You're going to regret that.
Defender. Come on.
Glacius. Bam. Baas. Baas. Hij probeert stoer te doen tegen mij, moet hij niet doen. Hier, slash.
Revelio.
Daarboven staan nog meer vijanden. Hier zijn allemaal kooien ook. Ja, dit zijn allemaal geheime doorgangen, maar ik kan gewoon... ik kan gewoon door de hoofdingang. Ik ben niet bang voor die Ashwinders. Kom nou. Hallo, open kist. Hallo. Waarom kan dat niet?
Revelio. Tricus totalis. Revelio.
The girl's friend won't...
Tricus totalis.
Expulso!
Stupefy.
You die for that.
You die for that? Je gaat zelf dood door, sukkel.
Revelio.
Zegt hij you die for that? Denkt hij nou? Hier was ik al geweest. Hier was ik ook al geweest. Dit is allemaal een bijzondere doorgang. Dan ga ik toch nog kijken of ik die grote kist kan openen vanaf deze kant nu. Find Book of Poems. Find Dibble's Love Letter. Unidentified neck item. Kijk, maar deze kan ik hier nog uithalen. Hup. Kan ik toch nog een beetje kijken of ik nog wat van die vermiste dingen kan vinden.
Revelio.
Zie. High top hat.
Revelio.
Book of Poetry. Otto Dilbert's Love Letter. Ja, daarboven zijn nog wel kistjes, maar het ziet er niet uit als kistjes waar quest items in zitten. Ah, toch wel.
Otto Dibble's love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it.
Toch even alles looten dan.
Revelio.
Hier zit nog een kistje achter. Unicorn statue. Oké. Hier is nog een klein kistje.
The book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert.
Alles gevonden.
He'll be thrilled to have this back.
Alles gevonden. Hier is een geheime deur.
He must be here somewhere. Revelio.
I knew you would realize I had left my wand for you. Speak to Mr. Rabe. He will tell you what you need to do.
Speak with Isco Rabe. He will tell you what to do. Nou, vertel het me, Isco.
Mr. Rabe, Daisy told me you'd been abducted.
You spoke with my wife. How is she?
Worried about you. Are you all right?
I am all right. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed, and there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Use mine. We'll find yours together once you're out of there.
I need my wand for this. Using one with which I have no connection may not work as well or as quickly, and we cannot risk detection.
I shall do my best. Any idea where it might be?
It's nearby. I can sense it.
I can sense it.
I'll find it.
Your friend Natty was
Revelio.
some my wand. It must be blocked by something.
Definieer nearby. Oh eens.
Mr. Rabe's wand could be in there. Aloha Mora.
Door Revelio verscheen er een kist die er eerst niet was.
Mr. Rabe's wand. He'll be glad to have this back.
Dat was makkelijk.
Mr. Rabe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken.
Wait for Mr. Rabe to dispel the curse.
Revelio.
Oké. Natty.
Thank you, Mr. Isco.
My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery.
Sowieso.
I may be too weak to disapparate with you both, but I can try.
You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own.
Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friend.
Graag gedaan, Mr. Rabe.
Be prepared for a fight. These Ashwinders must pay.
Revelio.
Be prepared for a fight. Ik heb hier net een fight gedaan om hier binnen te komen. Waar is de doorgang? Niet hier. O's. Be prepared for a fight.
Let's find Officer Singer and put an end to Harlow once and
Nou, zij zegt be prepared for a fight, maar er is hier niks hoor. Natty. Hey, Officer Singer, we hebben hem automatisch gevonden.
Natsai Onai.
Haar.
I should have known. And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe. Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife. Miss Onai, your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe, to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
Yes, officer. Do you have enough evidence to take down Harlow and the rest of Rookwood's lot?
Well, it's certainly a good start. We shall see. But you can leave this to me now. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
Nou, graag gedaan. Iedereen gered. A basis for blackmail. Hebben we daarmee ook afgerond. Laten we eens even kijken in de afvinklijst. Nu allemaal nieuwe items gevonden. Allemaal unidentified. Laten we dat dan eerst even doen. Even naar de geheime kamer. En dan, hier is ook nog een sidequest zie ik. Ja. Summoner scored match 4. Oh. Even naar de geheime kamer. Om daar dan alle unidentified dingen even te identifyen. En dan te kijken of er nog iets bij zit wat beter is dan wat ik heb. Read mail.
The Ashwinders have ceased pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon. After we tell Mr.
Nou, graag gedaan, meneer Dibble.
Wish me luck.
Nog meer berichten? Nou, laten we eens kijken naar de items. Te beginnen bij... Kijk, een nieuwe one-handle had ik. De handwear. 82, 91, 92. Increase damage. Increase damage of all damage spells. Lekker hoor. Nieuwe facewear. Locked. En slecht. Dat is 94. Asylum mask. We gaan niet met die Asylum mask oplopen. Nieuwe headwear. 87. Increase damage with Expelliarmus. Betere neckwear. 83. 98. Die kan ik nog niet aan, maar deze wel. Nieuwe jasjes? Nee. Nieuwe outfit? 93. Nee, niks beters. Nieuwe inventory items hebben we nog. Ik had dat beest gevonden. Filbert's Poetry Book heb ik gevonden. Nieuwe collections. Kijk, ik had weer nieuwe vijanden gevonden. Al die legendary figuren. Nieuwe kleding. Telt allemaal weer mee. Hè? Ik had nog een kaart gevonden ook daar buiten. Die stapel met flessen. In de Highlands. Deze. Nieuwe furniture heb ik nog gevonden uit kistjes. Alles afvinken. Unicorn statue. Nieuwe wand handles. Dit had ik ook gevonden uit kistjes. Kijk eens aan. Dan hebben we volgens mij alles weer afgetikt. Ja. En dat betekent dat we dan in de volgende video door kunnen gaan met de volgende quest. Summoner scored 4. Gaat dat worden. Ik ga ook deze plantjes plukken. Zo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 1 Tot de volgende keer.